제 패턴 자체가 살이 찔 수가 없는 구조이기 때문에 이게 오해를 많이 받아요, 주변에서. 그만큼 살이 좀 많이 빠져가지고 좀 이제 다시 좀 찌어볼 생각입니다.
살이 좀 빠졌어요. 한 3, 4kg 정도? 그래가지고 뭐 운동을 해서 찌고 줄어들고 한 것 같습니다.
Well, I was in Korea since last EWC, so I haven't seen my family in a long time, so I guess that's losing something.
Well, I would say I lost a bit of confidence, but other than that, not that much. I gained a bit of time off.
제 프로게이머를 했었다 보니까 그래도 관심을 그래도 어느 정도 받았잖아요. 근데 일반인으로 살다 보니까 처음에는 되게 편했거든요. 그래도 쭉 살다 보니까 제 스스로 나태해져요. 주위에서 관심 가져주는 사람 없으니까 스스로에게 관심이 굉장히 줄었다고 생각합니다.
스트레스는 좀 줄었던 거였네요. 이제 연습하면 굉장히 스트레스를 많이 받는데
가장 중요한 실력이 줄어들었어요. 이게 가장 슬픈데 지금도 게임에 집중을 하고 있긴 하지만 그래도 이제 운동도 있고 피아노도 있고 강아지랑 산책을 가던 지인이랑 밥을 먹던 하는데 작년에는 그게 없었거든요. 오직 게임만 했거든요. 근데 작년보다 뭐 실력은 줄긴 했겠지만 그 제 삶의 행복은 좀 많이 늘어났다고 생각해서 좋은 현상이라고 보고
다 줄어든 것 같은데요.
실력이 줄었다고.
저 사람이? 이제 GSL 앞두고 있으니까 더 열심히 하면 저 형보단 잘할 것 같아요.
줄어든 건 이제 가장 치명적인 거, 통장 잔고. 이제 제가 자취를 하진 않아서 그래도 좀 타격이 덜했지만 아무래도 수입이 줄다 보니까 돈이 빠지는 것만 계속 보이더라고요. 그게 좀 신경이 좀 많이 쓰였던 것 같아요.
친구가 이제 점점 나이가 들면서 술도 이제 적당히 마시게 되고 좀 혼자만의 시간을 더 즐기려고 하는 것 같아요. 친구도 좀 줄어들고 있는 것 같아요. 슬프지만 너무 슬픈 거밖에 없는 것 같은데 그런 것 같습니다. 네.
말했어? 집에만 있다 보니까 이제 거의 친구도 거의 안 만나거든요. 아예. 그래가지고 말을 많이 안 해요. 집에서도 그냥. 네, 그런 것 같아요.
좀 더 건강이 좋아지지 않았나. 스트레스도 안 받고 시간이 많다 보니까 제가 수영도 다니고 이제 운동도 좀 해가지고 건강이 좀 좋아진 것 같습니다.
이제 이 책임감. 앞자리가 이제 3이다 보니까 인생에 좀 책임감이 달라졌어요. 옛날에는 이제 아무 생각 없이 게임만 했다면 이제는 미래를 생각하면서 게임을 더 마지막이란 마인드로 불태우고 있다라고 생각해요.
So I spent some time with my family, with my friends, and I'm very glad about that. But also, I gained some more motivation, just purely because I haven't played for a long time, so I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, when there was no tournaments, I was just playing a lot of badminton because, yeah, I really like the sport and I still play. And yeah, I still practice, but not as much. And yeah, I was just focusing on like my life and my health and stuff like that. And I think as a result of my health getting better, I think I also became a better player. So I think those things are related to each other. So yeah, my health got better, and my play got better, and my routine got better, and everything like that. So
늘어난 걸 따지자면 몸무게가 좀 많이 늘어난 것 같고 백수의 삶을 좀 길게 살다 보니까 아무래도 좀 그런
축구 실력이라고 생각해요. 남는 시간이 많더라고요. 그래서 굉장히 많은 시간을 또 축구에 할애하다 보니 많이 늘었고요.
끈기, 인내심, 한 겨울 동안 RPG를 했는데 끈기가 상당히 늘더라고요. 한 번에 앉아서 오래 하는 시간. 그래서 딱 스타트를 다시 하고 이제 연습을 하는데 엉덩이가 제가 무거워진 게 스스로 느껴져가지고 이게 RPG 수련법 괜찮은데 약간 이런 생각을 했던 것 같고
뭐 좀 근육도 좀 더 생긴 것 같고 운동을 조금 하다 보니까 요새
운동을 좀 맞들려가지고 이렇게 근육이 좀 왜 웃으세요? 근육이 이렇게 늘어났고요.
징징거리는 게 좀 늘어난 것 같아요. 밸런스 패치하고 나서 하면 할수록 힘든 것 같아가지고
사람으로서의 좀 기능이 늘어났다. 제가 원래 운전면허가 있었는데 운전을 못 했거든요. 근데 좀 쉬는 시간이 많다 보니까 운전도 좀 배우고.
저는 최근에 늘어났다고 생각한 게 살이 점점 얼굴살 같은 게 예전 사진이랑 비교해서 보면은 이게 세월의 타격을 정면으로 이번에 받아가지고 확 늘어난 게 느껴지더라고요. 이제 아 그래요? 감사합니다. 아직도 그 소리를 들을 수 있고 아직 희망이 있구나.
Incoming transmission. Let's go!
We're finally here. What's up, everybody? This is the GSL Season 1 Finals.
15년이 흐른 지금도 스타크래프트2의 역사는
We're going to be introing our first player here. And I believe it's going to be the Terran player. I think we were supposed to do hero first, but he's in the bathroom, so I've just been notified by the producer.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. And this is Cure. I think. Yes, okay. This Cure could be coming out here first.
Cure just looking unbelievably strong in this matchup right now. This victory over Classic. And let me tell you, Tasteless, I think he's going to need it if he's going to win this grand finals.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, I think, you know, I've said this several times, he always brings a better version of himself. He looks so good today. Showing some love only to one side of the audience here. Interesting. Going with the keyboard hand for the fives, not the mouse hand. Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be really tough to take him on. We're going to be doing a deep dive here in the matchup, TVP, try to understand really the ins and outs of it, and what better two players to have than these two guys. So that's Cure for you guys. Now on to our next player. And of course, our Protoss player, herO, truly an innovator in the race Protoss. He has dictated many matchups and how they're understood. He did it in PvZ. We're going to see tonight if he can do it in PvT.
Many players in the GSL Codas came into this season talking about how the one player they do not want to go up against
watch
in
out,
the group stages,
both sides. Fives on both sides.
In the playoffs is herO. This guy just seems like he is at his absolute peak right now. His play has been unbelievable, and I think that truly Cure versus herO is going to be one of these matchups that might be just a historic GSL final.
All right, we're going to go to an interview now, guys, see how our players are feeling, and then we're going to start this best of 7.
And the grand finals is about to kick off for 2025 GSL Season 1. The trophy is on the stage already. The two players already. herO actually walked past me before. He said he's nervous. Are you nervous right now? Because your face doesn't look like so. Well, right now I'm trying to just control my mindset. And definitely, if the atmosphere feels heavier compared to the round of 4. And Cure, you did make it to the finals after defeating Protoss. So how are you feeling right now? Well, I did know that I would eventually have to face a Protoss in the finals. This was my destiny. I'm still pretty worried, but I'll have to give my best shot today. That's right, before you did play against Cure before in the round of 8. So I'm guessing a lot of things went through your mind. So did you do some like image trading beforehand or like do some simulation? Well, currently the meta is like that. And I did practice a lot of PvP matchups just in case Clasic made it. And I know Cure is in great form right now, but in the end, it will be me smiling. with the trophy.
올라와서 웃을 수 있었다. 이런 얘기를 듣고 있거든요.
And he said that he's really glad that you made it to the finals.
이런 얘기도
Kyo just said it.
있을 수 있습니까?
How can you remain still after hearing that?
경기
Sure.
전에 도우 형도 잃었는데 또 준호 형도 정말
Well,
잃을
you know,
것
before the finals, we lost Classic in this GSL Season 1, and now we're gonna lose herO.
최근에 좀
So anything you want to say to
많이
herO?
지긴 했지만
Well, I did lose to him a lot
일을 갈고
recently,
있었거든요.
but I've always been sharpening my strategy, sharpening my teeth for him. And please look forward to my match today, herO.
잃어버릴 것 같다 이런 얘기를 했거든요. 김동욱 선수에게
herO,
한 말씀 해주시죠.
Kyo just threw some banter at you. Anything you want to say back?
냉정하기 때문에
Well, in the world of competition, everything is fair. I think I can just defeat Kyo today and then refriend him after. I hope to have a good match with him.
자, 그렇다면
I see.
본격적으로 결승을 앞두고 있습니다.
And momentarily, the finals will be kicking off. Are you ready?
그렇다면 본격적으로 경기를 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
Then we shall commence soon.
시즌 결승전
GSL Season 1 Finals. herO versus Kyo. Kyo versus herO. Starts now.
가겠습니다.
All right, guys, the finals of the GSL is starting right now. herO versus Kyo. A very unique tournament, by the way, this time around. We ended up with a full-on PVT deep dive here. We're going to really, by the time we're done with this series, truly have a big appreciation for the matchup and the ins and outs and how it works. It's been fascinating to follow so far. We've got a couple timing attacks coming here from Terran, but otherwise it's basically Protoss trying to keep, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually poking out the Terran's bases. Terran, it seems like their burden, their role in the matchup is to try to come in and smother the Protoss before they can get out of control.
Yeah, but Kyo has demonstrated against one of the best macro Protoss players in the world in Classic that he absolutely can hang with these guys in the late game. He is not afraid to go to a low SCV count. He's not afraid to have 160 army supply with little eco back at home and just play the army game. It's one of the things that he does best. He is phenomenal with his control. And as for herO, he is looking for his second GSL title. This is a guy, he's given interviews in the past where, I mean, we all know that herO is one of the greatest ever to play this game, but he personally thinks that he will better cement his legacy with another GSL championship trophy. I agree with him. I would be very excited to crown another Protoss champion.
Yeah, this is going to be so fun to cast. I'm so excited to see what kind of games these guys are going to bring here. It did seem like when you looked at Classic and how he approached it, he kind of had this like big range of play. It was like very reactive and looked very strong. herO seemed to be very, very tight with how he handled things. He seemed to, basically just have, frankly, better PVT here. But Kyo, he looks so scary, especially in his endgame decision-making. When in Game 1 versus Classic, it looked like there was literally no way Classic could lose the game. And he managed to, with some pretty complex maneuvering in late game, take out every single base, sacrifice a certain amount, and bring it to full force.
Kyo in TVP really does feel like the complete package.
Yeah,
He can control just as good as anybody else. His decision-making is phenomenal. His macro is always on point. And on top of that, he is not afraid to mix up his strategy with a ton of different builds. Like, think about that last game that he played versus Classic, where he literally didn't build a starport on 2 command centers. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna have like 5, 6 barracks. I'm gonna make siege tanks. I'm gonna pull the boys, and I will kill you. It will take a long time, but I will work you down. We haven't seen a PVT like that in GSL thus far this season. That was the first time. How many more tricks does Kyo have up his sleeve? I think we're gonna have to find out. But the scary thing about him is, again, he doesn't need those tricks. He can win in the ultimate late game against Classic, who a lot of people are even saying is better than herO in the late game. So I think this is going to be 2 heavyweights just absolutely duking it out from set 1, possibly to a set number 7, Tasteless.
This is a best of 7 to decide who will become the GSL Season 1 champion. herO versus Kyo starting now. Okay, so we have Cure here in the bottom left, herO in the top left. And this is one of our maps that has the healing zones on it. We never really talked much about, well, you know, we haven't gotten to see this much in play, but just going to put that out there in case this is a factor here in this series.
Yeah, Persephone with that healing zone in about the center right of the map, and then the entire right side, that whole perimeter just aligned with these speed zones. We have seen a couple of moments here in GSL where, because of the nature of the map, you typically expand towards either the top right or the bottom right portion, depending on where you're at.
Look at Giga Chad Cure over here.
Oh, yeah.
Been doing neck workouts for years.
I mean, everybody in that interview was just talking about how they're getting jacked. So.
Yeah.
The art is reflecting it.
Well, that's going. StarCraft 2 is back, so we're all gonna get out of shape again. The nerd body's coming back.
Yeah, that era, the healthy era, is over.
Yeah.
But
just flabby nerds with bad wrists, living the dream.
Nothing says StarCraft 2 like a broken down body and injuries.
Nothing says StarCraft 2 like skinny fat bodies with brittle arms.
My wrists are breaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, here on Persephone, it's a really interesting map, just not only because of the healing zone, but also all of the speed zones there on the right side perimeter. And it's very fun when we get to positions where the players expand all 4 bases across the top or the bottom side of the map, and then you have things like double or triple SC or medevac drops taking place in those corners, because I'm telling you, they zoom, man, through those speed zones. Like, they will be on top of a Nexus in no time at all. It's a really fun map. I'm glad that we're getting a little bit more adventurous with the map making this season.
So, in this game, we've got Protoss expanding again. No doubt the Twilight Council is going to be thrown in here unless we've got some real plot twists here for Game 1. We have started the factory, and we're going to have the command center right after that. So this is tech into expand. No one-base craziness like we had from GuMiho.
Yeah, and it's going to be a Reaper Hellion opening here for Cure, and I wonder if he's going to try and hide that second Reaper. Nope. In fact, Cure actually throwing down a pylon because he wants to confirm what the tech is going to be. Now,
we almost never see this used. Yeah, and he actually cancels it. It's actually an old trick from StarCraft 1 where you can put that down there and basically confirm what they're going to make. But yeah, he threw it down and canceled it. So
it's something that we see more often in PvP than anything else in StarCraft 2. But herO, he's been very on point with his scouting thus far. So these double Reapers going to jump into the main base, see a Stalker and a Sentry, and then shimmy right back out. Behind this, Cure, he is continuing to train Reapers. So typically with a strategy like this one coming in from Cure, you want to go for a healthy number of Hellions and Reapers, and then you basically want to knock on the front door of the Protoss. If you can get past a wall in, potentially by using a grenade to kind of shimmy whatever Protoss unit is sealing the gap, if there is one, you have the potential to get a lot of damage done. Even these 4 Reapers, if they want, might be able to force a Guardian Shield or potentially go for that Sentry. Instead, Cure just opting to play a little bit more safe. And the response oftentimes to this is exactly what herO is doing. You throw down a couple of gateways, you start to close this gap a little bit. You can use either Force Field or units to body block this entrance. This is a build coming out from Cure where there is a big potential to get damage done if these units all get into the natural expansion. Oh, that shield battery really working overtime right now.
That's so funny.
Oh, great force fields too, catching one of those Hellions. It's gonna be a Cloak Banshee follow-up. So one of the things that Terran players sometimes do with strategies like this one, because the ideal response, the optimal response from Protoss is often to go for exactly what herO did and have these structures walling in the natural ramp. This is very vulnerable to a Siege Tank push, a delayed Siege Tank push. So we now have Siege Tanks in production as well as Cloak Banshees. And so I'm wondering if Cure is going for this opening to try and force herO's hand a little bit, the same way that Clasic in one of his games had double gateways and a robotics facility all in the natural expansion, all vulnerable to a Siege Tank push at the front door. Cure is kind of going for the same thing right here, but herO, he's playing this very smart. He's not going into Blink first. He's almost preempting a potential Siege Tank follow-up for this by opting for very fast Zealot charge. Now,
yeah, we saw this in action before, and it worked really nicely. That Hellion, by the way, just poked up there and confirmed that there is a third base coming. So tempo-wise, how everything's developing, it's looking pretty normal for the Protoss. We don't have a third command center started, so this is clearly going to be lining up for a timing attack from the Terran. And it's not just going to be one of these things where it's a push alone. He's got Banshees coming in here. I'm sorry, did he get Cloak? Did I miss that?
I thought he got cloak. He might have canceled
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I thought I saw it making, but I feel like it would have still been making because it takes a while to make. So it's possibly canceled that. I guess we'll see when the actual fight happens. But, you know, cloak or not, you can always send the Banshees somewhere else like we're seeing here, and they can hit locations and maybe pull some of the stalkers away. Yeah.
Man, they are speedy in these speed zones. But even if these Banshees, ideally, so in a situation right now, so say we do have Cloak here for Cure, if he's able to keep these Banshees alive because herO went, oh, actually, hold on, I thought, herO, are you crazy? Look at this. We have, what, 5, 6 zealots now coming in? Just going to trade out for a siege tank and then run on out? How often do we see this in PvT? What a clever tactic there from herO. That was really impressive, actually. I don't think he lost anything, maybe 1 zealot at most. So Cloak is done now. You're going to try and do some counter damage, already being able to force down 4 probes. Of course, these 2 Banshees able to one-shot probes coming in here. Link, again, because we went for the charge opening here as herO, is not on the table for maybe another 30 or 40 seconds, so additional workers are going to fall. And Cure would love to keep these Banshees alive, especially if he wants to go for a siege tank push later on in the game. Now, he did already lose 1 siege tank, and the follow-up behind that was only 1 more, so these are more safety tanks. I don't think this is the build that's going to be trying to converge into some kind of timing attack at the third base like we were thinking it might. This is instead just a very safe way of approaching the early game here from Cure, with now a 3rd command center coming in, 1 engineering bay at least getting the upgrades there for infantry weapons, and just a nice, safe, natural development into very biocentric play.
So, yeah, this is going to be much more gradual in development. Just, yeah, like you were saying, safety tank set up here. Medevac's now going to be coasting up here towards the main. He's going to scan here. A lot of times a scan can telegraph the drop itself at the space of the game, about 7.5 minutes. He's going to unload here. You know, he doesn't actually get that much. Did he actually kill a probe, or did they pull away?
I think he might have gotten 1, but yeah, not a lot went down right there. And also for Cure, you don't know what's really getting recalled. Is these zealots are? I keep looking at them and thinking, surely you're not going to take this fight, right?
Yeah.
That one maybe not as productive as the previous attack that was able to take down a siege tank for almost nothing. But
so he's got a push coming, and then there's Banshees on the right to generate threats. There's the 2 medevacs still parked, you know, in the very, very back of the Protoss's base. So right now, you know, what Kier's going to do is he's going to look for wherever the soft spot is and try to hit there as hard as he can. There is a 4th base. I don't think Terran actually knows about it.
Nice catch on those Banshees right now with the Stalkers. So there is, I believe, 1 Marauder just shelling down that 4th base.
Whoa!
Oh, this Colossus is very vulnerable right now. herO with late reactions. No force fields pop. That Colossus is going to go down. Siege tank now anchoring this position over here on the right side. Hallucinated Colossus. Wait, you blink on top of that, herO? Are you crazy? The Stalkers, they get focused down. The Zealots are warping in. That blink maybe a little bit over-ambitious, tasteless. I don't know if that was worth it. herO, he is going to stabilize in this fight. He is going to be able to move down and save that 4th base, but now you have the drop in the main to worry about, and your Stalker count is effectively reset at a stage in the game where really herO, he wants to be pushing all of that money into upgrades, into Colossi, and then spending the minerals on Zealots. Anytime your Stalker count gets reset like this, it is so painful as the Protoss player, and although it wasn't really the death-killing blow here from Cure, that was such a momentum builder that I'm very worried for herO in these next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I actually thought the game was about to end there. When I saw him blink in, I went, oh man, that's bad. Kind of a funny moment though. He didn't kill the 4th base. He saw it and instead tried to go for damage. He did snipe the Colossus, and I think he's gonna basically, oh, wow. He's like just, okay, he's gonna be spotted. Now what he wants to do is have this drop meet up with the rest of his other drops that are actually parked in the back of that base. I thought he was going to bring the medevac over here.
Yeah, he's bringing them in now. Stalker's already able to focus down 2 of these medevacs. This is actually not a very bad trade here for herO thus far. Excuse me. Stalker's even blinking forward, going to get 1 more medevac, and that's equalizing things a little bit. Now this drop at the natural expansion, it's only picking off a couple of probes. Overall, I have to say the defense from herO in these past couple of moments has been really spectacular. It's actually even the game up quite a bit.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, like, when you attack it, I'm not even talking about that attack, but the one before it, the push, there's like, you have a series of choices on what to do. Like, he could have killed that Nexus and 100% gotten a lead in that way, but he kind of went for like what I would call like a win more move. He moved past that, tried to kill the Colossus, which he did, tried to fight the Stalkers, then he would have killed 2 bases. But because of that, you know, what's happening is that herO's able to bounce back pretty nicely. Doesn't mean that herO's going to win, but herO didn't suffer the same kind of losses. Now we've got a big stim in. The Colossus, both are sniped down. The third one's going to come in here in a second. The Vikings are all ready to deal damage on top of that.
Oh no, and it's just Stalkers right now here for herO, so he has to blink back, rejoin forces with the Colossus, already bleeding out a lot of high-tech, expensive units. A round of Zealots warping in, going to be able to add a little bit of sustain here on this army here for Protoss. It's scary in a moment like that one here for herO. Oh, man, I'm watching this. You know he wants to blink forward and focus fire down one or two of these Marauders, but it's a dangerous game. Instead, just going to be chasing them down. Blink back once the Widowmine shot's about to trigger. Oh, a lot of high-stress moments already in game one here between herO and Cure. I've got to say, Cure has been doing a very good job of keeping the critical tech unit counts for Protoss under control. He's already sniped down a good number of Colossi. He's been doing a very good job of also resetting the Stalker count. But some of these trades, herO has been doing a very good job of getting just the Starport units taken out. I would love to see the units tab. Okay, we have 6 medevacs and 1 Viking. Ideally here as Terran, you would like to have a lot more, especially against 4 Colossus on the board already.
So, the gold base is now being taken. We're getting into that configuration where the Protoss really starts to get ahead. It almost looks like they're Zerg or something with the sheer amount of map that they have. And he's not expanding. I mean, he's, you know, if you look at the mini map, Protoss has like 2 free bases right below the main. So there's a lot more bases that can still be taken, but he's reaching far instead of trying to take the easy stuff. So, I mean, herO's getting very scary, and it's going to be tough for Cure to push out here. I mean, Cure is still compacted. He's still on 3 bases. A 4th will eventually, you know, come into play here. But I mean, for now, the size of the map, you know, the size of the number of bases that herO has, excuse me, is just insane.
I think we might have a 3rd robotics facility in production
think you're right.
here for herO. So a disruptor transition certainly going to be in the cards. Yeah, the first one immediately gets queued up right there.
Dark Shrine coming here as well.
Yeah, herO just starting to flesh out more of his tech tree. Interesting choice not to go into Templar, but you know, Cure is one of these players that will always start to mix in Ghosts on 3, going on 4 bases. And so I don't mind too much herO just opting to go for the Disruptors. He's one of the better players in terms of getting flanking Disruptor shots too in Korean PvT. And now he's basically max, and he's also been doing a very good job of spreading his vision. We have a lot of units, and also I think some pylons spread out on the left side of the map. You can see there on the mini-map as these Zealots are going to make their way into the 3rd base. Actually, going for the Assimilator is, I think herO identifies that Cure is going for a lot of these more gas-centric units. He knows that he's killed a lot of medevacs, he's killed a lot of Vikings, and that Cure also wants to build, or hold that thought actually. herO pushing it a little bit more than I was expecting. There was an EMP on those sentries, so no force fields available. Not a lot of Vikings. Actually, those Vikings really far forward. Multiple get picked off. 5 Vikings to 5 Colossus right now on the field. herO's army is really powerful. And look at this,
the heal
healing zone.
Protoss
Maybe this is part of the reason why herO is focusing more on just controlling this right side, because he can actually just repair all of these units basically, right?
Yeah, it's actually a good point. You know,
I hadn't considered that until this moment, but that's really brilliant. Protoss usually just recharge their shields. You don't get the HP back.
Here we go.
Big ambitious blink forward. A lot of energy on these sentries. Okay, they do get EMP'd. Good disruptor connection there on the right side. The Vikings, you see them focus firing down the Colossi here in the front line, but there's so much damage. But again, the arc here for Cure is just fantastic. The Zealots dissipate on the left side. That's going to force herO to re-max on Zealots, retreat, regroup. It wasn't really too advantageous to trade on either side. Cure lost a lot of Vikings. Most of the Colossi do remain. But the issue right now for Cure is that herO's economy is insane. herO is taking Cure's base in the bottom right side of the map right now, Tasteless. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the craziest amount of map control I've ever seen here from a Protoss. And the problem is like, okay, so Terran's not dying, right, all right, as long as he can hold this off. But the other issue is Terran's not growing. Terran's not an active participant on the map.
Yeah, this command center here at the 4th base is the main CC, I think, as we have another engagement coming in. There's nothing really to fight these Colossi. These Colossi have +3 ground weapons. The Zealots have +3 armor. So much damage getting dished out. Now the missile turret's actually going to take down one of these Colossi, I think, but it doesn't matter. herO pushes into the natural expansion, and in one of the most Zergy PvT games that I have ever seen, herO just completely captures the right side of the map. at the very end, even taking one of Cure's bases.
Yeah, I mean, that bottom right base, it's implied just by the way the map is structured that would always go to the Terran. That might be like the last base Terran takes. I mean, it's kind of crazy. The matchup looks like Protoss' Zerg. And you know what it reminds me of, actually? It reminds me of StarCraft 1 PvT. StarCraft 1 in PvT, it's funny. It's like the Protoss just keeps expanding and the Terran's army scales better. But eventually you have like enough gateways everywhere, because you can't warp in StarCraft 1, but you have enough gateways everywhere. They can't really do anything. You're like constantly surrounding them, and you just sort of overwhelm them. And StarCraft 2 PvT never played like that until now.
I mean, herO, we think back to the way he pioneered a new style of PvZ, where the Protoss was also basically the Zerg with these rapid expansions. You see him really testing the limits in macro and PvT as we get ready to go into game number 2. The players are locked in. The lobby is loading up. herO leading this best of 7, 1-0. Let's go into map number 2.
Protoss in the bottom left, Terran in the top right. Let's not forget, in that last game, there was a period where it almost looked like Cure was just going to win the game. He got in there, and he killed the Colossus, and he was hitting a bunch of locations, but he went in a little bit too deep. herO was a little bit too resilient and kind of bounced back. And from there, you know, it seemed like the game kind of ran away from him. Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, second SCV sent out in the middle of the map, and herO barely missed it, Tasteless.
So what is this SCV going to be for? He got it out. Keep in mind, you know, scouting with the probe right away is pretty common here. But when you scout, you also will be able to check if an SCV has left. But the way that he sent this out, the way he sent this out, herO should have no idea there's a hiding SCV. Unless he's so good that he would be able to show up and count literally every worker. This might be too subtle for him to notice.
Yeah, and he's just focused on harassing.
This is a double Rax. And I can't emphasize how sneaky this is. Because when you scout like this, especially when you see the first barracks already made out here, this looks so much like just any other build in the game. You're going to get run over. Oh, thank you much.
Oh, that's
thank you
a great
so
drawing.
much.
I love that.
Appreciate that. Even the camera guy getting some love.
Yeah, look at the camera guy.
The guy, yeah. Now I'm looking in the audience. I'm like, but which camera guy was it?
We got multiple.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Marine's going to pop out, shoo away this probe. And as far as herO is concerned, everything looks completely standard right now. But we do have the second barracks, and it is going to be a tech lab. So
is this SCV stuck there?
I think it can go on the left side, but no.
Oh, no, he's finding out right now. That SCV lives there now. That's his home. He's going to have to go look at those trees for the rest of the game.
I mean, it's not a bad spot, right?
Oh, can't get out that way either.
Like, surely I can fit.
Yeah, it's one of the better views on the map.
All right, Cure's going to lift the barracks and let him out.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, it actually matters because the SCV, it's a little bit of extra damage that can soak up in the rush.
He canceled the command center. Oh, Cure.
You dirty devil. You scumbag.
Wait, we have another SCV right now on the top left side of that. This is insane, actually. Are we going to have like a proxy factory over there?
Wait, where?
The top left side on the minimap right now, you can see this little tiny red dot is another SCV.
Yeah,
I think
you're
the
right.
SCV that was originally building the command center and the natural expansion for Cure. And also, it's worth noting, by the way, herO right now is being very greedy. He is chrono boosting probes. He is not energy recharging the sentry. He's just waiting for it to build up in energy, and so he has no idea that this is happening. The sentry is out. It's 2 sentries. There's no stalkers to micro. Oh no, he just popped the Phoenix. No Guardian Shield. No force field. It's just 2 sentries right now. The shield battery is going down. The 1 force field he's got is going to secure us around with the probes. The probes are doing a great job of getting us around right now on these Marauders.
I mean,
but the SCVs right now, they're joining the fray. Frantically right now, herO is throwing down a lot more shield batteries. I think a 3rd sentry just joined the mix over here on the left side. I have no idea what I'm watching.
I mean,
it is 3 sentries and probes fighting against SCVs and Marauders. This is crazy, Tasteless.
Is he gonna get the pylon? The battery's healing the pylon.
Dude, the sentries!
The sentries with their little Ghostbusters beams are slowly taking it down.
The pylon! It's gonna survive! The pylon's going to survive! The sentries with their little laser beams are saving the day. I have never seen anything like this in PvT.
I can't believe it.
Oh my
GG.
God. What a game.
Oh my God.
Dude, 3 sentries and you hold that? And let's not forget, he went for a Phoenix. He hallucinated a Phoenix. That's not a Guardian Shield. That's not extra force field.
You know when you're like watching a fight, and like most of the time when a fight's about to happen, you kind of know who's gonna win. And then there was that one where I'm like, wait, I cannot tell you how this is gonna come out until the fight's actually done. The pylon barely staying alive, barely. And, you know, it's funny too because the SCVs were kind of out in the front, and I couldn't tell. I'm like, is this good or bad? Like, and by the way, maybe looking back at it, maybe the SCVs should have gone for the pylon.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Maybe that was
he
actually.
was just like one hit away in terms of
If you could
tempo.
like resume from replay, maybe that's actually the play. Guys, we're going to a break. We'll be right back.
Eyes on the prize. Jump through hoops and windows before they minimize it. All my life I've been exercising. I run through everybody before they realize it. I got goals set on a bright future. I demand respect, no argument. It's a fact of life. I'm balling for the future and the flashy lights. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. You don't want none. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. Come and get some. I'm a one-man show. You don't want none.
Let's go.
Dude, that last game was so good. That was just, what a special moment back there. It's funny, like, we all know sentries can fight, but like you never actually just see sentries fighting something, like as a small little group. And you could see that like on both sides, it wasn't exactly clear like who's gonna take it. I don't think anybody knew until the last second, but somehow herO, you know, despite Cure having like literally everything going his way, perfectly disguising the build, the canceled command center not being spotted, the SCV that left the base at the start of the game not being spotted, everything was perfectly aligned for him to take that with an easy win. And yet somehow, some way, herO shut it down.
Yeah, the pylon surviving with, I think, literally one Marauder shot worth of HP.
So crazy.
Just the cherry on top. I mean, just miraculous hold by herO.
You know, it's a best of 7, obviously. In a record amount of time, herO is halfway to winning this. If he wins 2 more games, it's done. Doesn't matter how long those games are. I mean, you know, we've already seen in PvT occasionally some of these games can be extremely short. Cure really needs to win here on ley lines. When you're down 0-2, you really got to win that 3rd game.
Yeah, reverse sweep basically never happens in
Yeah.
GSL, or really any other kind of tournament format where there's a best of 7. So for Cure right now, the pressure is on here on ley lines. Map number 3 might tell the tale of this entire GSL finals. Let's get it loaded up. herO versus Cure.
Okay, herO in the top right, Cure in the bottom left. Is herO going to do anything kind of cheesy, kind of crazy here, or is he just going to trust in, you know, the whole way Protoss could operate in the long game and try to let that ensure his win?
That's an interesting question. We haven't really seen anything super cheesy, so to speak, from herO this entire GSL and PvT. Actually, I think I might be wrong about this, but I feel like herO's basically only played PvT this GSL, and he hasn't been stopped by anybody yet. He is just looking unshakable in this matchup. But to answer your question, Tasteless, I think that if we see something really aggressive come out from herO, it's not going to be like a one-base play. I don't think it's even going to be something like a proxy Stargate or like a Dark Shrine or something like that. I think the most likely pressure he would go for is like full sending 4-gate blink. Like that 4-gate blink with a robo on 2 bases. I could totally see that being in the playbook in this best of 7. But up until this point, thus far in GSL, herO has never really needed to do something like that. He's aggressive later in the game, but early game it seems like he just doesn't want things to go too far astray. He's very proactive with his scouting, generally speaking. He likes sending these probes very early out. He's doing these hallucinated Phoenix plays with the sentries quite early on. And it seems like his MO in this matchup is basically, as long as I don't get completely blindsided by something, I am confident in my ability in the mid game, whether it be I go for charge or I go for a blink. I can hang with basically every Terran, and so far he has been right. So I don't know if he's going to stray from that playbook here, but given this is the best of 7, you're up 2 games, if you want to get experimental, this is a great time to do it here as Protoss.
Yeah, you know, it never hurts to kind of mix it up. By the way, the Reaper, I'm kind of surprised he hit the probe here. You know what I mean? It feels like, you know, the Reaper is going to probably try to beeline through that area.
Could be a hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that works sometimes too, where you like hide it in the spot that doesn't make sense because they'll loop around the side. You know what I mean? Like, and try to catch something that would have been hiding. Anyways, he lost the scouting probe, so no intel here. The Reaper's going to go inside the main.
Yeah, the Stalker just kind of walked past this in the natural expansion. I was surprised by that move. 1 probe is going to go down. I think this Reaper certainly is not going to be able to evade both of these Stalkers here in the main base. So trading out for 1 probe, again, just disappearing.
Just disappears.
I do hope that bug goes away before Season 2.
What happens is right before they kill him, they go back in time and kill the Reaper's parents so he doesn't exist in the present. That's why he disappears like that.
Stalker particle shot actually moves faster than light, so it can't go past back in time and do that.
So, yeah, I mean, the Hellion's going to be on the outside. There's another Reaper and a Hellion. They're going to try to come in again, and it seems like he just kind of overextended with the Adept.
Yeah, I think he didn't see it with a shade, and then as soon as the Adept finished shading in, he's like, oh, wait a second, I'm getting juked a little bit here. So another probe's going to go down. This Hellion should be able to take at least one more, but there are two Stalkers on the other side of the map. When you open with Reapers and Hellions like this, obviously you don't have a lot of really good fighting units. It's going to take this Cyclone coming out with some SCVs to repair to actually get this command center finished.
Oh, he's got to be careful. He's going to try to target the Cyclone, anything that'll buy a little bit of time.
Yeah, but there's just no way with the four SCVs there to repair.
Happening. But, you know, that slows everything down. It can seem, you know, to the casual observer kind of inconsequential, like, well, who cares? That command center is going to finish one way or the other. But the fact that it's delayed, the fact that the SCVs have to be transferred later, the fact that every SCV that comes out of that command center is going to be a little bit later than it would have been, that hurts.
Tasteless! Cure is not expecting herO to still be right on his front door. This medevac, it already boosted, very low on HP. Adept now coming in, focus firing down. The Marines low on HP. Cyclone, great micro there by Cure, fighting back. This Stalker on 1 HP. The SCVs do not get the killing blow, but the Siege Tank finally comes out to save the day. Man, my heart sank deep in my chest when I saw that, because that's the kind of moment where if Cure reacted like an eighth of a second later and that medevac dies, he might be down 3-0 in this series. That is scary, but you gotta watch out for herO, man. I know Cure was not expecting him to still be on the front door, even with more gateway units. But with herO, really anything is possible. He loves to be active with these early groups of Stalkers.
Man, it's been a pretty action-packed early game here. Protoss right now, no third base just yet. You know, herO is doing it a little bit differently. He's going to basically gear up for, I guess it's old school now, but, you know, the Warp Prism Stalker Harass. This, I don't know if this is a decision he made because he did damage early, or if this was always premeditated and this was always the way this game was going to go. But Cure's kind of ready for it. Like, he's set up, you know, very much aware that this is going to be coming his way.
Yeah, but Tasteless, at the same time, we've had a probe cut for about almost a minute. The probe's just restarted because herO's going 4-gate blink. Basically every game up until this point, it's been 3-gate blink.
Oh, wait. He's like,
oh no.
He's going to try to set up for a push. He doesn't think this is coming. He thought maybe he's got the timing off, but he's going to be out on the map?
Oh, this is huge for herO. Okay, the siege tanks are sieging up, so herO's not going to catch him completely out of position. The observer did get sniped by that scan. Cure now getting the first glimpse. herO, are you going to go straight to the main? You know the siege tanks are there in the front line. Shift queuing the Stalkers into the main base. Oh, is that Stim? Stim is going to go down. No Stim pack here for the Terran. The siege tanks are completely out of position. One more pops from the factory. Stalkers blinking forward, getting shuffled. The low HP Stalkers into the Warp Prism. SCVs now are falling. You can see Cure, he has half the army here in the main base, half at the low ground, trying to split things up, but he's not expecting herO to commit even harder here into the main. More Zealots getting warped in. The entire mineral line has been defeated here. These Stalkers, the micro-premium herO has been insane. They are so deep in the red. 4 of them going to go into the Warp Prism, and when the dust settles, 19 SCVs dead. On herO's side of things, this cost him a lot of army supply. That was a huge trade.
Oh my God, he's just gonna,
you know what?
He goes, nope, I'm not even going to try. He realizes, okay, I lost my workers, but I killed almost all the Stalkers. If I can have a counter punch, it might be hitting Cure's glass jaw. There might just be not enough to handle literally everything being thrown at him. He's gonna see this. That's not a lot of time to get ready. But he did force a siege, not bad. Unfortunately, not all the tank siege. He's going to try to come in again. He doesn't force a second siege, so the army's remaining fluid. He's going right across the map.
He's sieging right in front of the natural expansion. That's a lot of Marines, Tasteless. Those Zealots quickly dispatched by the Bio Ball. SCV's holding on in the front line. A group of Stalkers here in the main base trying to reinforce. Now, I'm worried for herO. I think that, oh man, all the production right now is right out of this natural expansion. One pylon goes down. Cure with excellent decision making says, you know what? You want to trade those Stalkers? I'm gonna go bring the fight right to you. The Immortals having a hard time connecting with these siege tanks. The Marines focus firing down the Stalkers. There's just way too much army here for Terran. No, herO, even a Dark Shrine cannot save you. Cure is too smart. He has been banking scans in the main base.
Oh, hold on. He's got DT tag.
No, there's too many scans.
There's just not enough.
There are too many scans.
He's going to make one
Tasteless.
DT. If this scan dissipates,
He's building a turret in the main base. Another scan drops. And herO is dead to rights.
Dude, this game was insane.
What a series we have, and
This
it's only
has been
game 3.
So good. Yeah, herO's dead.
Yeah.
Yep, GG.
Wow. Wow. I gotta say, this is the kind of decision making from Cure. If he moved like 30 seconds later, maybe herO's able to muster up enough defenses to hold. But just immediately identifying the situation, like, you know what, you blink all those Stalkers in, you trade it with my army, but not very cost efficiently because I lost all of my SCVs. It's like it pulls the boy already right there at the main base.
The like 400 IQ play in that moment. By the way, you have to like, right when that battle's done, look at that and go, this is what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah, has to be instant, snap decision.
You can't like spend 10 seconds deliberating, you gotta go now.
And on top of that, you also need to make the decision not to drop mules because the entire mineral line in the main base got wiped out. Even the SCVs on the gases mostly got wiped out. There was basically no mining there for Cure. A lot of Terrans in that situation would be like, well, you know what? I can still drop like 2 or 3 mules. I can probably get maybe a dozen more Marines out of this rallied across the map. Cure's like, you know what? I have enough army. The only way I lose is GTs. Let's just bank those. Let's get turrets and bank those. Brilliant play from Cure. Excellent decision making, and now he is on the board.
All right, guys, we're going to map 4 here. Cure starting that comeback. Let's go. Okay. Cure down here in the bottom right. Once again, herO sending his probe from the top left to scout in here and see what's going on. Really interested to see that counterattack work out that well. Honestly, I feel like Cure's playing better than Maru today. Like, he looks so good. And let's keep in mind, that game 2, I mean, that's insane that that didn't end the game. I'm still thinking about it. That's supposed to work. Like, I know that, like, StarCraft's not exactly like chess. Like, a one piece captures another piece in chess, right? In StarCraft, it's like a lot more like shades of gray. Like, the math is a lot fuzzier. And so, like, that's why you can have these really interesting fights where, like, maybe somebody is a little bit better at control and they come out ahead. But on paper, if you show a pro that scenario where the barracks got hidden, came here for Team Liquid. Well, you might be pleased. I think he's going to possibly take this, man. Take game 4 here.
It's possible.
So if you show somebody game 2, like a pro gamer, and you say, okay, they didn't scout any of this stuff, and here's what herO's doing. Any pro goes, yeah, this is a Terran win. And then it happened and it didn't work out.
Oh, come on, herO.
Citizen's arrest?
That SCV is so low on HP. That SCV is living a survival horror game right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it all comes down to that. herO literally had one force field because he waited until the first sentry had 75 energy and then hallucinated Phoenix at the most, the worst possible moment. It was the second sentry popping that had the force field that locked in 2 Marauders and allowed the probe surround. If there's no probe surround on those, the sentry's never connecting with that. The SCVs get there in time to support the Marauders, and I think herO is just dead. So like, everything had to go perfect for herO because up until that point, everything had already gone perfect for Cure. It was really a miraculous game number 2. I mean, what a treat this series has been so far. I am just so pleased to be able to cast a game like this one. Cure just looking to be on top of the world right now in TVP.
There's no factory, right?
I don't think so, no. It's going to be a 2 factory
just started there. So it's double racks into factory. And he's going for concussive shells, by the way. yeah, let's see what happens with that. I wonder if he's going to have something where he can hit the third like right as it's done.
Kier's a really big fan of going for these more barracks-centric plays. Like,
Yeah.
he might even throw down a third barracks and do something similar to what he did previously with the siege tanks and no medevacs. But he could also just go something like 3-1-1. He just really he recognizes his skill, I think, in terms of controlling bio units and navigating the army composition of bio. And by navigating that, I mean like having the correct ratio of Marauders to Marines based on what your opponent is doing, which sounds like it's easy, but if you play 2 Marine heavy against somebody who goes super fast Storm, your army is like a glass cannon. Like a thin breeze coming in from those side storms will basically wipe you off the map. It's one of the reasons why Kier, with his army spreads and Marauders, is just so good at retaining armies even after big fights. And it is going to be that third barracks. So we'll have to wait and see if there is going to be a starport follow-up to this, or is he going to dip back into the well and go for another 2-base push with an SCV pull, with no starport, no medevacs, just pure power. I think it is possible.
So the hallucinated Phoenix is going to come in here, and he's going to see everything. No secrets in this game. And, you know, this could be a later third base, by the way. I can't remember if it was which match it was, to be honest. But one of these games I said this has to be a push, and then it was just a later third command center. It could be the Terran plays that way just because they can't expand sooner without dying to Stalker Link. So they just sort of kind of play a beefier, meatier army building game, and then just expand out slowly.
I think this is going to be the same build that we saw between Kier and Classic before. There's still no starport. It's 3 barracks. I think more barracks are probably going to get thrown down. Engineering Bay getting added, I believe, around the same time. Because at the tail end of that push against Classic in these semifinals, +1 infantry weapons was making a really big difference in those fights where it was basically just Marines and Stalkers. It also makes pro pools basically completely irrelevant because they evaporate to those Marines like nothing else. I mean, probes are already pretty bad against Marines, but you give those Marines +1, it's just, it is crazy. So on hero's side of things, we do have Storm coming in, but it just started, and now with his hallucinated Phoenix, he is spotting this. +1 ground weapons is getting researched. There's a lot of energy on these Templar, but it's going to be a long time until they get the Storm, and now the SCVs are getting pulled.
This is not an Expo game. This is going to be another sharp timing, and it's going to hit hard. I mean, the Nexus, by the way, it just started, so I think almost 100% this is going to have to be canceled. Protoss is going to see it coming. The Stalkers are in kind of a weird spot.
Yeah, Storm is so far away. We don't have Link either. I think it's just Charge.
And he's going to go for the bunker play. Now, there's nowhere near as much infrastructure at the entrance, so he's going to have to try to get the Nexus here. There's no, Achilles heel here. He's going to take the pylon out, and that's going to actually... Oh, no, I'm sorry. The +1 will finish. I didn't realize there was another pylon back there.
Yeah, +1 finishes. Storm now finally done. Looking at the Templar, I think we have 4, maybe 5 Storms left here for herO. Those are going to be very critical here on the defense. Keep in mind, no medevacs means no healing here for Kier.
Yeah, and remember the Marines can go in the bunker. Storm's not going to hurt them. Storm can't hurt buildings. He's making the gateways just in the back here.
I love this SimCity from Kier.
This is so sick. He can basically just like push in with bunkers and get in range, and by the way, the third base is going to go down. Yeah, see, the Marines are going to kill this off, no problem. And I mean, this is going to be a stake in the heart here.
Dude, every Marine's basically going to have their slot in a bunker. We're about to have 5 bunkers here in front of the ramp. All right, herO charging in. He's got a lot of Storms. First ones are good. A lot of damage being done to these Marines and the siege tanks, but the bunkers are standing strong. There's just no way to break through here for herO. And Kier runs it back. The same timing push he used to defeat Classic. He's using here against herO to great effect. 1 Archon, 3 Templar, 1 Stalker, and just a handful of Zealots right now on the field. Yes, you do have +1 ground weapons, herO, but how are you ever going to break through all of these bunkers? This is such a deadly push.
I mean, this is it. You've got to stop this push now. I just don't know if there's any way for herO to come back through here. He's going to try to come in right before the Nexus is killed. Again, there's so much to deal with over here. So many bunkers. He storms, another dodge. I don't even think he can kill these bunkers off. This should be game.
Wow. Man, Cure is just a stone cold killer with these pushes.
And this is going to be 2-2 now. He's actually evened it out.
I think herO's just digesting the loss. GG is called. Cure, what a build. This one even hit faster and harder, I think, than the previous one did because he made the engineering bay. I think that was him kind of sending a red herring to herO in case there was another Phoenix Scout. I don't believe we ever actually got +1 infantry weapons even started there for Cure. So maybe just wanted some missile turrets to be safe against DTs back at home. Maybe trying to throw red herring, but in any case, Cure going back to this just pure manpower-based build. No medevacs, just a whole lot of guns on the ground. Marines, Marauders, and Siege tanks. And like the bunkers are the HP in that army. It's not the healing, it's the bunkers.
Yeah. And look, this is, well, we'll talk more about that in a second, guys. Short break, and then the finals continues on. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We're going to be going into Game 5 of this best of 7. And, I mean, it's been a real back and forth. It does seem like Cure has made major adjustments in how he's approaching the matchup. And specifically with Game 4, I look at that and I think, okay, herO cannot just go for Fast Storm again. He actually has, he can use it in the late game, that's fine. But that build just shuts down Storm build. Bunkers, I mean, that's the solution, bunkers. Make buildings, camp it out. Your magic spells don't matter, Protoss. So how exactly will herO make those adjustments? Because, look, I don't know in this game if Pure's just going to do that no matter what, or if he's identifying, because he sees an early Templar Archives, oh, you're going for Storm, now I just do the all-in. But yeah, I think herO either needs to do something a little bit cheesy or just have a different approach, something that can actually fight in the transition from early game into mid game.
Yeah, some adjustments are going to have to be made. Kira's been able to fight back, and honestly, now the momentum is in his favor as we get ready to go to map number 5. It's going to be Torches, herO, and Kira tied up 2-2 in the best of 7 as GSL continues on.
herO in the top right, Cure in the bottom right. And yeah, let's see what exactly the game plan is going to be for both of these guys. Cure looks really strong. By the way, we never really got any of these like crazy long late games, right? We had this with a Cure Classic. Didn't really happen yet, right?
No, not at all. I feel like, I mean, herO, his games are usually just so explosive that they usually don't go too late. By the way, double gas opening here for Cure. So we're going to have some really fast tech coming in. Most likely with the delayed command center. We did see GuMiho go for literally like an Ichi Puma 111 from I don't know how many years ago style build earlier on in the semifinals, but I feel like Cure here with this double gas is probably going to do something a little bit more delayed as opposed to the speed. It seems like he is really a Terran who prioritizes having numbers. Like, you see him doing siege tank pushes compared to a lot of the other Terran players in TVP here in GSL, and whereas a lot of other people are prioritizing the speed of the push, Cure is really all about hitting just a critical mass.
Yeah.
It's been working very well for him so far. Like 1-0 versus Classic with that build, 1-0 versus herO with that build. Now for herO, because he went for this really early scout, not only is he able to see the factory timing, the barracks timing, and know this is a 2-gas opening, he also knows that it's a 2-gas opening that isn't super gas intensive. And what I mean by that is that we see these refineries, they're only about half saturated. For a moment it was 2 guys on Vespene gas on one of those assimilators, 1 guy on Vespene gas for the other assimilator, and even recalling that probe is kind of nice. I like that too. That's a cute move by herO. Just saving 1 more worker. And we'll see what kind of build Cure is going to bring to the table with this one. Of course, delaying the gas income like that is going to translate into a faster command center, so that is now getting thrown down.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, not a lot is going to happen here for the next minute or two. We're going to wait and see, what kind of, game this is going to be. We do have the starport, by the way. So this isn't, factory and a bunch of barracks like we had in game 2. We've got the Twilight Council, and the big thing that I'm looking for as we go into this game is I just want to see, will Quick Storm be the route that herO goes for? And if he does go for that, does Cure once again have an answer that just shuts it down?
I don't think it's a mistake for him to go Quick Storm at all, but the scouting needs to be a little bit more proactive. Because last game, herO, although he did technically see all of the pieces of the puzzle with the hallucinated Phoenix Scouts against Cure on the previous map, I think he didn't quite put that puzzle together to determine what the build was going to be from Cure. I think that maybe herO was suspecting that, perhaps Cure has a starport that's just out of my vision. I just didn't see it. They were the Phoenix, because the response of taking the 3rd base going for the Storm and a timing like that one didn't really seem like the appropriate response to the push that Kira did. This just battering ram of siege tanks and Marines where the firepower is in greater quantity than basically any other TVP push because you are completely foregoing the support of the starport and the medevacs and the healing. And so if he's going to go Storm, I think a game like this one, where Kira is developing a lot more normally, like he's going into Banshees with Cloak, which is an excellent form of harassment. He's going into Siege Tanks, but he's doing it behind, of course, that starport. So the push isn't going to be nearly as deadly, or if it is deadly, it's not going to be pushing as quickly. I think in this situation, Storm makes a lot more sense, but instead herO is opting for the robotics facility.
So the third base, being seized here. Everything is in this kind of development mode. Okay, so he just now finishes the robo. There's an observer coming out. And we're going to see the Cloak come in here for the Banshees. Protoss is going to attack in, which means the main is naked here. So this is going to be a kind of a weird situation where they're both going to be hitting each other at the same time.
I don't even think we have a siege tank back at home. So the shield battery mitigates a lot of the damage here.
Oh, man. Actually, this is kind of crazy. Like, if he can just run up. Dude.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
The depots are down as well.
Yeah, this is actually insane.
Surprisingly, Kira did not keep that Banshee back. I thought he was going to try and use it to focus down the Stalkers and the Sentries, but instead he's just going to fight with his army. Now he's sending it back. A little bit of indecision there. In total, we're going to have, what, 15 SVs go down? Just enough energy to force field out those units, too. Recall's going to save 2 of those Stalkers, and this cell can probably get like 3 or 4 more kills. These are some
I think it's
injured
going to get to, what, like
SCVs.
18, maybe 19?
I mean, do you just pull the boys at this point? You can't. You have no army.
I mean, this is what's crazy about this. So I think what happened there was he just wasn't looking at his base. He just thought, okay, I'm going to get this Banshee in here, and I got to really try to get as many probe kills as possible. And then the Protoss army just ran up the ramp, and yeah, you're right. It killed the army, then the SCVs were pulled, so then all the SCVs got killed. This is like an extremely easy position for herO.
Yeah, herO's done this a couple times today with this just charge timing, which you rarely ever see anybody do in PvT.
Yeah.
It is such a...
What's funny, it's kind of like you're catching someone with their pants down.
Yeah.
Like you're just not looking, and suddenly the stuff runs up there and does so much damage. Really smart move.
I feel like if this was a more popular move, you would see a player like Kira just have a bunker or the natural expansion with 1 or 2 depots around it and then be mostly safe against the charge zealots, because really the charge zealots are the threat. But instead, he's being a little bit greedy, I think, just because herO is doing this kind of off-meta push style. And now, as you said, his position is so easy. He's getting Blink, he's adding in, what, 3 or 4 additional gateways? A ton of them just finished up right now.
This is like a 7-3 or 8-2, like favored position here for herO. Like it just... You kill the army and you kill the workers and you've got an extra base and all your tech's up now, or all your gateways are up and most of your tech's up. I mean, it's just like, how do you lose that, right? Like, you could have a much worse player basically sit down in herO's chair and play this out, and it would probably beat Cure.
Well, Medevac's going to unload here in the main base. Blink is almost done. It might finish before this skirmish is over, so that Medevac has to be very careful. This pylon a little bit exposed, but I think Cure recognizes the threat. He doesn't want to risk Blink being done right now and losing a Medevac and just adding even more insult to injury to his position. And for Kira, my point of curiosity is you're playing from really far behind right now. Oh, wait, you know what? Kira's not even going to be in a position to make a decision because herO is attacking again, Tasteless.
This is crazy.
He is just going for the throw. And I love this, by the way, for herO. He knows that Kira is hurting. And he is just ready to absolutely send it.
He's going for the jugular now. He's going to attack in here. He's got these Immortals to unload. A Blink on top. The SCV's pulled. Force field's going down. Nice micro. Already 10 SCVs have been killed off, but it looks like Cure might have enough to actually fight back. But again...
Oh, those Stalkers actually... The War Prism gets sniped by the flanking Marines. This went way better for Cure than I was expecting. Look at that. At this point, I think you just send it here as Cure. You lost 15 SCVs. You retained your medevacs. Yeah, pull the boys. Let's go, Cure. This is your chance.
Oh, my God.
You've been given one opportunity. This is it. Seize the moment. There is still a world where herO is able to recover from this. It's 57 workers to the 27 right now of Cure. The mining is huge here for herO. Will he be able to reinforce fast enough, though, to absorb the impact of this push?
There is a Colossus coming out. That's going to be massive. But he has to get that out first. He has to buy some time. He's going to maybe try to throw some force fields down. No, he's going to send some Zealots in over here on the side.
A lot of reinforcements right now coming in for herO. The Medivac still standing strong with the healing. Cure able to isolate this Colossus on the right side. It goes down. The bio still standing really strong. Probe's even getting pulled right now. Focus fire is very good here for Cure, but the bio is starting to fall on the ground. You got to go away. Blink Stalker's now on the low ground, man. Cure, he was playing from so far back. I love that he just pulled the trigger on this push, but herO has just enough to parry the attack.
Wow, that was beautiful.
GG.
That you know, it's crazy how scary that counterattack was. You know, there's something funny about, you know, when you see like a fight, PvT, and it's like, it's not always clear who's going to win, right? And then suddenly, because of stim and heal, it spikes in the Terran's direction. It's like, oh, this is really bad. Getting that Warp Prism was huge. But yeah, look, I mean, this all goes back to that initial rush. Sometimes things that don't always make a lot of sense and can be easily stopped will work in a pro game. Like that run, and yeah, if you had a bunker, it's like, well, then this just won't work. And
I think it's just
and
off
the Banshee
meta.
kills workers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Cure just wasn't looking. It's like, you know, you're going to rob the house. Well, we got to go through the window, you know, we got to go through the second floor. No, we're going to go through the front door. They're not going to lock the front door. We're going to walk right in their house. We're going to steal their TV. That's what he did. We have 2 possible games left, maybe 1 if herO can close this out. Again, it's been an action-packed series. One of the best finals we've had here at GSL, honestly.
Every single game has been so explosive, so fast-paced, and oh man, I want this to go to a Game 7. I'm pulling for Cure here on Ultra Love. Guys, let's load in map number 6.
Okay, herO in the bottom left, Cure in the top right, and yeah, I mean, let's get into this game. You know, each of these PvTs is a little bit slow at the start. You know, in the minute or two, where you know not a whole lot's going on, but when things pick up, man, it really picks up.
It's been a very fun PvT series. I mean, this entire day has been a treat as far as PvT is concerned. And even for Cure, looking back to the last game, I mean, you said it. Really, he just got crippled, basically, by that early timing attack that herO did. And I love, even though it failed, I loved the decision-making from Cure to just pull the trigger. Like, you know what? If there is any moment where I am going to win this game, it is right now. It is trying to capitalize on this blunder that herO made, where he overextended. He lost the Warp Prism. He lost his Immortals. He lost a ton of his Stalkers. Let's just go for it. That's the kind of decision-making that makes a champion. Now, unfortunately for Cure, his position heading into that decision was already so dire that it just was not enough. But those are the kind of decisions that could potentially carry him through a game number 6 and a game number 7.
Once again, it's going to be teching for the Terran, probably with a command center on the low ground. We have the Cybernetics 4 on the way, but we'll probably have the Twilight Council, so it'll probably be that same kind of tech. What happened in the last game from herO probably just won't happen again in the series. I think you have one chance to make that work, and he did it, and he got his win. He almost lost it, but then fought back and won anyways, but yeah.
It is very interesting seeing how quickly that herO is going for charge in some of these games. It makes me think back to the series versus GuMiho, because in a lot of those matches, I thought the charge choice was something specific against the opponent being GuMiho. It's like, well, he's probably going to hit me really fast with a very technical push. What if we have like 8 charge zealots? That'll probably stop most of the stuff on the ground, and it did in that series. But then you see him doing the same thing here against Cure, and it's like he uses the hallucinated Phoenix to probe the base of his opponent and determine whether or not this kind of attack is even viable. And if it is, he goes for it. If it isn't, well, instead of warping in a round of zealots, why don't you just build a third base or expand more quickly? Yeah. I like that approach a lot here for herO. So I think there is a potential for us to see that again coming into this series. But there is more likely going to be a bit of caution on Cure's part. This is certainly on his radar now, and I would be surprised if it was anywhere near as effective as it was in game number 5. Now, Here, are you going to use a grenade to try and get past this, or are you content just to see what units have been produced?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like,
he's
just
gonna
going
go
to take the shields off that pylon. So he's going to come in again, and pretty much sees everything that's going on.
Man, what did this pylon do to deserve this treatment?
I know. You watch. Later on in this game, there's going to be a push on the low ground there, and that little bit of extra HP that's gone, it's going to kill that pylon.
14 less HP, man. Hey, if he got 14 more damage done on that initial pylon with all the shield batteries, in what, game number 2, he could have won that game.
By the way, there's 4 gates being made.
Yeah, and charge. So this is a similar opening to before.
So I just said, like, it's not going to happen. Never mind that. He's going to go right on in and do it.
Yeah, but again, he doesn't have to go for the push, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, he could also hold off his opponent's push or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like how versatile this opening is. I'm going to have to mix this into my own games. This really fast charge is cool to see because for so long in the PvT meta, people have just been going Link, like basically every game. As it is right now, Cure posturing a little bit with some Hellions and Reapers on the front line. There is one Widowmine and a Medevac, but this is all very low commitment here for Terran. He is able to isolate this one Stalker with reinforcements coming in. He's hardly going to get any hull damage on it. And behind this, Terran is developing with siege tanks. Stim has just started. It is a 2-1-1 build here for Terran. Meanwhile, herO, I think you said he's on 4 gateways now? And the robotics facility is just now completing, I believe.
So the Robo is actually over here at the entrance. And I wonder if the Reapers are scouting for just this. Keep in mind, a push at the entrance, if he kills like that pylon or just kills the gateways in the Robo, that's like more than half the infrastructure. Not saying that that's the way this game will end, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult this game just because we already have the 4 gateways up for herO, and charge is already done. By the way, you can see herO, he is posturing with those Zealots. He's like, man, I really want to charge in here, snipe your siege tank, and then run out. But Kira has wisened up quite a bit, just adding in some city. He was building a bunker for a little while before he had enough units. He's like, all right, this is, I'm safe. I do not need the bunker. I'll just instead wall off a little bit with these supply depots. I love this adjustment here from Cure, and as it is, things are just developing pretty naturally, and Cure is building up to what could be a third base canceling push. Now, keep in mind, again, herO does have all of those gateways. He is starting Colossus production. +1 ground weapons has just begun researching, and we do have charge in already 8 Zealots. Charge Zealots really good in this comp. Oh, man, Cure, he is pulling the boys.
The boys, consider them pulled. He's coming out across the map. Both observers are going to see it.
They want to double check.
They're both confirming.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Crossbow confirm. And I mean, you know, it's probably going to be that bunker push I was talking about, but he's going to try to meet him out here in the middle of the map.
Yeah,
the
Guardian
tanks
Shield.
are going to siege up.
Guardian Shield doing really good work right now of absorbing the damage on these Marines, but the Zealots, they are falling tasteless. Only one of the siege tanks go down. Colossus now getting huge shots on the Marines. Curie standing strong, but there is a shield battery on the high ground. The Colossus is not going to fall. Instead, it's what, 6-7 additional Marines going down? And keep in mind, the previous pushes where this worked for Cure, he had SCV survive. He was able to establish a position with bunkers on the low ground. This game, that is not happening. In addition to that not happening, we have a warp-in point, I believe, at the third base here for herO. He can set up a flank. He can come in from 2 angles with Charge Zealots.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really bad here for Cure. And I love the idea of him just coming out here and smashing the workers and then running back. Because, like, this push is way weaker, and he's going to come back out again. He's got 2 Colossi over here.
Oh, the Colossi are solo on HP. They're going to get pulled back. One of them does fall to the siege tanks. Only 1 siege tank going down. Momentum swinging again into the favor of Cure. Immortal now in production. Sentries coming in. herO identifies a lot of the DPS in this army. It's Marines. I want Guardian Shield. Another stim forward. Cure is knocking on the front door of Protoss. herO solo on HP. He desperately wants to get that Immortal on the field.
He's getting to the point where he can start to damage the gateways. Another Colossus is on the way, but it's going to be a little bit. 3 medevacs here. The tank is going to inch forward. He's got a couple more Zealots. Can he snipe the tank? He does, but there's a second tank, and that one Colossus goes down.
Yeah, 1 Viking to snipe the Colossus, doing its duty, breaking through the natural expansion. The infrastructure is going down, and Curie is going to ride this momentum all the way to a Game 7 tasteless. herO is on his last legs here. We are going to go to match point in this GSL final. Man, Curie looked like it wasn't going to work, but he made it work right in front of that base. shelling all the infrastructure here of herO. I mean, just magnificent push, bringing the pressure to one of the most aggressive Protoss players in the game. 3-3, game 7, let's go.
Dude, this is so sick. Oh my God, this series has been insane. I thought herO was gonna hold that. It was not the first attack in there. That worked, it was the second one. It was the overextension. You know, he didn't have to run out there and fight at that moment in attack number 2. Lost the Colossi, needed to go back. Probably would have been better just like, you know, making another battery, trying to poke out, trying to basically let the Terran come to him and then trying to hit when the tanks are unsieged. Instead, he tried to force it. And now we're going into game 7.
I am so excited to close this one out. What an epic GSL series. Certainly one for the ages. We were talking about how good herO is at TVP, how herO is, I mean, by all means, the best Protoss in the world right now, and they are delivering on the highest stage here in Korea. Pylon is going to be map number 7, and you can see herO, he is deep in thought. These siege tank pushes have been his kryptonite thus far in this series. Every other scenario, he is bringing the fight to Cure, but these pushes, he hasn't really had a good answer for them. But now is the time. Cure, game number 7, he can do really anything he wants, but the back of herO's mind, from here on out, what if that push comes again? How am I going to stop it? It's got to be a deep fear. Let's go. Game number 7, herO versus Cure. One of them will be the Season 1 champion.
All right, this is it, guys. After this game, we will have a champion. No idea who it's going to be. It's been so back and forth. This finals has been one of the best ever. We've been on for 15 years now. I mean, it's crazy. So we've got the scouting probe coming across the map. A theme here seems to be that, you know, Cure doesn't have to go for late game. He can figure out a way to basically get a stab in there and twist the knife. And a lot of times, it'll just kill herO off. And in that last game, I mean, he was ready for the attack. It did seem like it was mismanaged. Like, I think if we, you know, just like we had in game 2, I think if you had resumed from replay, like gone back and the players controlled a little bit different, and a couple of different decisions were made, I think we could have had a very different game.
I like the initial engagement from herO in the previous map, but it felt like the previous push earlier on in the series got in his head a little bit. And herO was maybe thinking, you know, what if there are all these bunkers getting set up outside of my natural expansion? What if that position becomes completely entrenched?
Yeah.
And then I cannot break free. It seemed almost like he was putting himself on a timer to break out, whereas, you know, us as fans of the game, as viewers, as casters, as observers, we can see the whole picture. There is no fog of war. We know what is going on. And we can tell that, you know, herO, he could have taken a little bit more time. I don't know if the outcome would have changed, but there was a world where, you know, he uses some warp-ins at the third base. He's able to come in from multiple angles and get a surround on that Terran army before Cure can establish a position with bunkers, with missile turrets, with those siege tanks even closer to the natural expansion. But you know, in such a high-pressure situation like that one, especially with a memory fresh of the previous push and how suffocating those bunkers were right on herO's doorstep, it's no surprise that he felt like he was in a hurry to try and break out. And so I'm really curious, does Cure go back to some variant of a siege tank push? If he does, is it going to be the variant that we saw against Clasic and herO earlier in the series where he skips the medevacs and just goes full firepower right out of the gate? Is it going to be something more technical like we saw in the previous game? And in either of those situations, what would the response from herO be? Because so far he is 0 for 2. Those are the 2 of the 3 map losses that he has is against these siege tank pushes. They've been his kryptonite.
Now, I mean, look, if I'm Cure, I'm going to try to recreate that push. I mean, it seems to be strong, and, you know, I think it's hard. I think herO had half the answer when that push came out. The first part, which he did right, is he ran out with everything and fought, because A, the tanks aren't sieged yet, and then B, the SCVs can't even get to their destination where they can make the bunkers. So that first part of that worked. The second part was that where he misplayed it was he acted as if he then had to wipe out the remainder of that push when it was out there. And I don't think he had to do that at all. I think because the SCVs were gone, all he had to do was muster up a little bit more and basically wait. Tell the Terran, you got to come to me. This is your problem. This is not my problem. I'm going to stay back here. I'm going to macro. Every minute, I'm going to have another Colossus in this game. And instead, he ran out. He ran into siege tanks after, the SCVs were all gone, like a little bit later. And then he lost too much. And then the counterpunch from the Terran, he was able to get back on that horse. He was able to get back on the saddle, continue with the push that should have failed, and close it out.
Tasteless. 3 barracks right now for Cure.
Yeah.
No starport.
Yep.
Siege tanks in production. We are going back to the push that beat Clasic, that beat herO earlier on in the series. Engineering Bay coming in. At this timing, I feel like this is going to be a little bit more like the build that herO used against Clasic, with +1 finishing up during that attack. And just remember how powerful those Marines were fighting, even on low HP, against Stalkers, against Pulled Probes, against Warping in Zealots. We'll see if he actually does opt to go for +1, or if he is really going to invest every resource into just firepower and units. But all signs are pointing towards another push coming in from Cure. This time, herO responds a little bit different. We have a Blink Stalker coming in. It is not charge. And it's going to be a lot of Blink Stalkers. Warp Prism also in production, about to complete. More Stalkers being warped in back at home. herO sitting on 42 workers. That is a optimal 2-base saturation. We'll see if he builds that 3rd Nexus, but I feel like a lot of the investment is going to be here in the front. He's actually building Robo Bay. He is playing this so safe.
Yeah, and I think this is how you have to play it. You got to be focused right now on where this attack is going to come in. He's going to come in with Blink, and I think this is smart. He's going to go right for that reactor, and he's going to get the kill on that.
Yeah, Cyclone Shot gets dodged right there with a pick up on the Warp Prism. Now, one of the problems about doing this push against 3 barracks is that there is so much bio that even if the siege tanks aren't in an optimal position, you really can't get that much value in. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Is that another barracks? Yeah, let's go Cure.
Yeah, a lot of barracks coming down here.
So we are going to have +1. It is not just for turrets, and this is going to be pure firepower. This army will be massive.
And this is, by the way, this is another barracks down here. Okay, he's going to see this.
Yeah,
so, like,
you know. herO knows.
So this is no longer a secret. herO goes, okay, this is no longer about a 3rd command center ever. This is about ending the game.
Oh, he's supply blocked right now on the Colossus, and it's
Oh,
chrono
God.
boosted. This is painful,
God.
man. He is feeling the pressure. SCV pull already coming out. That Colossus should have been in production. Oh no, the pylons are only just now starting. Honestly, even losing a Stalker right here is almost advantageous because that Colossus needs to start. It only just now began. That splash damage is going to be so delayed. This push is coming so fast.
God.
The battery only just now getting thrown down.
And here comes the push. He's almost there. Again, the delayed Colossus. The first Colossus be delayed will even delay the 2nd Colossus coming out after this one. It's huge. The tanks siege up. The Stalkers back up. He's going to throw the bunkers down.
Here come the bunkers. He's walling in the right side of this push. This gateway here in the front already getting taken out. herO, he is posturing to come in on the left side with Stalkers, Zealots, and his Colossi. Right side with the Immortal, with the gateway unit support. Colossus getting some good shots there on the Marines. herO now collapsing on this position. He blinks forward, focusing down the siege tanks. There is so much firepower here, though, for Cure. Taking almost a 10 army supply lead. The Colossus is staying alive. A lot of the HP here in the army for Cure has been dissipated, though. 10 SCVs going down. The Colossus still stays alive, recharged by that shield battery. Another one now in production. Gateways being reproduced in the main base of herO. These pylons falling as the bunkers continue to inch forward.
I mean, I just don't know how you could stop this. He's going to have to try right now. He's going to come in here. He's hitting hard. He'll take out the first tank. The bunker takes half damage, but then the dive in, only it was a dive in on the hallucinated Colossus. A misfire, an overstep.
These Marines are getting so low on HP, Tasteless. There is no healing for them whatsoever. These Colossi shots are huge on those Marines. herO playing much more conservatively, much more safely this time on the defense. Once again, going in, siege tanks focusing down the Colossus. It does get microed back on the left side. Marines taking a ton of damage. Every single stim is permanent damage on these Marines. Even more SCVs being brought to the front lines. SCV's inching forward, getting in range of this gateway, getting in range of this robotics facility. herO, he's gonna come in again.
He's moving in now. He's going to come in with these two Immortals over here on the side. They take out the tank. They're just going to back up again. Without a tank, it's going to be up to the infantry to dive in.
This
and he
infantry,
doesn't get that Immortal.
It is solo on HP. The siege tanks, I mean, that Immortal move with a Warp Prism was so clutch by herO. The long-range firepower is basically gone. It is off the board here for Cure. There's only one more siege tank remaining. Guardian Shield is on the table here for herO. He's posturing. He isn't overcommitting. He is taking his time. He wants to be a GSL Codex champion. Stalkers blinking forward, going for the siege tanks. The Immortals firing down on the Marauders, on the bunkers. The Colossi standing strong. The Robo units, they're carrying the defense right now, Tasteless.
This is insane.
Cure, he's
got
running
no
out of
more
gas.
tanks. There's no more tanks here. Remember how many SCVs were sacrificed. There's only 24 mining right now. At this point in time, herO has double that with the extra base. He's going to push out. He's going to close this out.
Oh man, the Immortals moving forward. herO has done an unprecedented job of keeping these key units alive. GG! herO is your GSL Code S champion!
Unbelievable. We don't have that many Protoss champions, guys, but we do today. herO in what, by the way, one of the best finals we've ever had. And we've had so many, I stopped counting a long time ago. He has done it. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to hold that push. The Immortal was, the Colossus was supply blocked. He made the right decisions back there. The bunkers got set up, but at the end, herO managed to hold it. He is your GSL champion. Unreal, man. We're going to be going to an interview in a sec, I think. Yeah, we've got our host going on stage now. Let's see how he's feeling. We've got Andy here to translate it. And, man, you know, oh, never mind. Go ahead, Andy.
All right, we're gonna have an interview with the Season 1 champion, herO.
자, 지난 2022년 5년 만에 프로토스 우승을 이룬 이후에 3년 만에
After being the Protoss champion after 5 years in your previous record, now you hold up the trophy for Season 1 GSL. How do you feel right now?
이렇게 어려울 거라고 생각 못 했는데
Honestly, I didn't think it was gonna be this arduous.
요새 위닝 멘탈리티로 장착을
And everything was a nail biter until the end of the series. And the nerves got the better of me at some moments. And you know, I'm like trembling right now, but I'm extremely elated. I'm extremely happy.
테란의 치즈러시를 연습할 때도 많이 막아보셨을 것 같았는데
I'm pretty sure you did practice defending against the cheese rush from Terrans. The Cures feel different compared to them.
후반 운영 갔을 때도 좀 잘하는 선수다 보니까
Well, it feels like Cure's late game macro is exceptional, so I can never let my guard down in any moment during the game.
근데 진짜 아찔한 이야기지만 두 번째 세트 때 그 전진 충격탄 불고 못 막았으면 졌거든요.
In the second game, had you not blocked the proxy marauders, it would be Cure with the trophy right now. So, did you just get lucky in that game?
제가 도우기한테 한두 번 당한 게 아니기 때문에
I mean, it's something that Cure has attempted a few times, several times against me.
그래가지고 운 좋게 막을 수
But luckily, I was able to fend it up pretty well. And I think that was the turning point of the whole series.
영광스러운 또 GSL 우승과 함께 또 EWC 직행 티켓을
What a glorious achievement here today. And now you punch your ticket to EWC as well.
사실 그 부분 때문에 진짜 너무너무 간절했는데
And honestly, that is why I really wanted to win today. I was so hungry for this victory.
팝콘 먹으면서 모든 경기 다 구경할 수
And I guess now I can just like chew on my popcorn and just like watch the matches just casually.
그리고 오늘 정말 비도 많이 왔어요.
And those are the words from the champions. And today was a very rainy day. It was raining cats and dogs. But despite that, so many fans are here at the venue. So anything you want to say to them?
전국적인지 모르겠는데 여기저기 비가
Well, I don't know if it's nationally, but there have been a lot of rain in various areas in Korea. So, you know, I want to thank all my fans for being here at the venue. You guys just like give me all the energy. Well, I almost forgot, but you definitely need to shout out to your family, right?
집에 못 들어갈 뻔했어.
You need to send a shout out.
기다리고 있었어요.
그래요.
I was waiting for this moment actually.
사실 제가 언급하면은 클로즈샷 들어갈까봐.
You know, I feel like if I do mention my wife, the camera's probably gonna like zoom in on me. There you go.
절반의 운을 끌어다 썼다고 생각이.
Well, I think I spent half the fortune of my life to meet my wife, and she's my coach, she's my spouse, she's my everything, and she gives me so much help, so much assistance, and I was able to lift the trophy today because of her.
금방 서서 하면서 응원해주시는 가족분들.
And also, I want to thank my family members for always tuning into my match.
경기 앞서서 제 경기인 마냥 도와줬던.
And before the match, I want to thank Bunny, SOS, for helping me with the practice. I really want to thank them. Once again, congratulations on your Season 1 champion, herO. You may exit the stage for now.
자, 우승과 준우승에 대한 시상식을
Until you come again. Dude, this was a great finals. Excellent translation work, Andy. You know, when you have a best of 7, it's actually very rare to get a game 7. You know, best of 5s, it's actually, statistically, it happens all the time. The score of 3-2. We got a few more announcements here, guys.
자, 준우승을 차지한 선수에게도 뜨거운 박수 부탁드리도록 하겠습니다.
Oh no, I'm wrong, guys. Sorry, this is the runner-up. Sorry, I've only been doing this for 15 years, guys. How do I know? How do I know how this show ends?
No, I was thinking the same thing as you.
I thought there was our staff was going to announce something. Okay, so for the runner-up, don't worry, herO loves flowers, in case you're wondering. He's going to put those in his garden. He's got an extra vase at home filled with water, just waiting for those.
Runner-up here of GSL. I mean, for herO, this was really an incredible finals. He was just a couple moments away. Like, I think back to game number 2, the Marauder Rush, and even there in game number 7. If any of these fights broke a little bit differently, he would be the Code S champion on stage right now. It was a tremendous finals. It was incredibly close. One of my favorite GSL Code S finals ever, honestly. I mean, we never got that epic drawn-out macro game that I think everyone wanted to see at least once in this series, but the action was non-stop. It was explosive. We saw some unique moments. I mean, it was just an absolute pleasure.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin, the CEO of Soup. It's been a while.
와, 오늘 하루 종일 비 왔는데
It's been raining all day today, so I was really worried, but there are no empty seats today. It's filled with GSL fans.
월드와이드로 너무 감사하고
The StarCraft 2 enthusiasts, I want to thank you all.
또 오늘 이렇게 경기가 가능할 수 있었죠.
And thanks to you, we were able to hold this match. I really want to thank you.
프리컵에서 10년 됐습니다, 우리 GSL.
It's been 10 years since the first GSL happened in this Free Cup studio.
프리컵에서 한 지가 10년이 돼서 오늘 돌아보면서 10년 전 생각이 났어요.
You know, I was looking back, I was reminiscing 10 years ago.
멋진 경기를 보여준 우리 선수 너무
It's been so long.
특히 김도욱 선수.
And you know, I want to thank the players for putting up great performance today. And also, I want to give a shout out to herO coming runner-up this season.
또 로드 투 EWC 다다음 주에 또 시작하니까.
And Road to EWC will begin again next week, so please tune into that as well.
저는 또 개인적으로 김진호 선수 어릴 때 데뷔했을 때 제가 구단주였고.
And you know, I've seen herO from the beginning. I was the team owner back then. It was really small. It was a really newbie. But you know, he went to the military service. He went to do his military service. He now has a family. Time sure flies. And now I see him holding up the trophy. It's a very meaningful day for me. So I want to congratulate him. And please keep looking forward to GSL. And also, like I said before, please tune into Road to EWC. That will happen very soon. Thank you all.
That's right, guys. You know, we're gonna start the season 2 like next week.
I think it's in 2 weeks. We are moving really fast.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, hold on, guys. We're gonna now give the the giant check?
Giant check, the trophy, give him everything.
Giant check that goes take that right to the bank. Congratulations to herO. What a great season this was, honestly.
Yeah, and it's exciting to have a Protoss champion again after so long, and after such a close series as well. I mean, herO absolutely owned this. Everyone came into this GSL talking about how terrified they were to play herO, and I wasn't really buying into the hype when we had those initial interviews in the first week of this season, but along the way, I definitely became a believer. This guy is just on another planet right now, herO. tremendous season. Looks like possibly the best form of his life.
Yeah, I mean, that was I really enjoyed our deep dive into PBT in general here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this season and for this finals. And, you know, we've got, obviously, herO's going to be going to EWC. EWC just around the corner. We're both super excited to be casting that for you guys as well. Season 2 is going to be in 2 weeks, or maybe a little bit less. 10 days from now or something. But yeah, point in case is that, like, you know, it's like when you finish season 1 of a good show and you're like, oh, season 2 is already out. You want to just start right there? Well, you can do that.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. I
yeah.
mean, it's a bit of a bummer that we got to rush everything so quickly, but it still adds a little bit to the excitement too. And I mean, at least this month we're getting a ton of GSL.
Right. This has been so much fun. You can see now, there it is. That's the exact date, May 28th. So yeah.
About a week and a half, 2 weeks.
About 10 days.
Yeah, I think that's right after DreamHack Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, right after. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, guys. We love you, and we'll see you in season 2. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.
Bring on the heat! Bring on the hood! Start up the gunfire! Wipe up the dirt!
Incoming transmission.